Welcome to the sorry state that is my one-car garage that I build way too much stuff in. So we're a little jam-packed here. We're gonna get this frame off the floor, start getting the new hub build assembled. Let's get into it. One of the big things I wanted to do with this build is remove the ignition. So I actually put a voltage gauge in there, which I plugged into the Milwaukee pack. Can't really see that in video, but it does show 19 volts. And that is good all the way up to 100 volts. So it makes it really nice. I can run my full voltage range from 62 all the way up to 84. So that'll be awesome, and I'll get rid of the key on the seat as well, which I've already been working on a latch for that. But it just comes out as a really nice clean setup. So now the top of the steering stem is in place. I have the triple tree as it sits pretty much put together. I just gotta throw the shocks on. It's all new stuff, so everything's nice and shiny and fits nicely. So used to tearing apart and reusing old parts, so I'm really excited to actually have pieces and parts that are meant to work brand new, that aren't shifted from people laying down bikes. One of my favorite parts about this build isn't actually the hub motor itself, it's these. Oh man, so excited to finally own a pair of Racing Bros Bishops with Namito lowers. These are just really nice quality shocks. You have fully adjustable dampening, compression as well, and they are going to support all the battery weight, and it's gonna be super awesome. Oh, I'm so excited. These are gonna look sick. So I'm basically gonna have the suspension that I have on the pink one of the Ruckus, but not actually have it ride like dump. This will be like luxury comparably, so that's gonna be great. So now we got the Bishops installed, all the fronts a little bit together here. This is the new frame that we already shaved down. And then I chopped the kickstand in the previous videos so we can do the lowered kickstand here. So next steps, we're gonna go ahead and put the bracketry on for our new controller. That controller is very big. I don't know, it's somewhere in all this mess. I gotta dig it out, and that is going to sit under the fuel tank. So I will have to carve out the fuel tank way more than I normally do because this build is going to see a lot more power, so that controller is massive.
Hello.
Once we go ahead and throw our controller on here, this controller is much larger than what I normally run. This is an EM550. This thing is massive. So I went ahead and put that up on the inside here just to get a rough idea. This tank was pre-cut that I did in the past. That way I had it for a future build. Normally this is plenty of clearance underneath here between the controller and the fuel tank, but in this case it is not. So what I'm gonna actually have to do is cut this out way higher and bring that over and give it like another 1.5 inches or so under here so that I can get the phase wires in, as well as on the other side with the battery wires. So we'll go ahead and get that cut now. So now with the tank cut, we have plenty of clearance between here. There's roughly 2 inches on this side and about 1.5 inches on this side. Our phase wires are only like 1/4 inch or so, so they'll go in under here. I'll go ahead and get some split tubing that I can put around the edge here just in case the wires do rub. Generally speaking, once they're adhered into place, they're not gonna move at all, but this is just plenty of space compared to how we had before, so really happy with how that came out. We'll go ahead and get this all finished up and start the wiring. I mentioned earlier about how I was going to get rid of the ignition cylinder on the top, and one of the other things you need the key for in the Grom is the seat lock. So normally this lever would be controlled by your actual key that you would use from your ignition. You would turn this, so in my case what I did is I designed a little knob that I 3D printed, and then this would essentially always be in, so I would never need my key to get under my seat. I would just twist that, and you could see when you twist that, the little mechanism goes back and forth. So now what I'm working on is trying to put a nub on the inside of that so that I could essentially turn this and then almost lock it into place so you could use both hands to get the seat off rather than using one to hold this and one to use the seat. Really excited about this. Stunters, I've had a lot of stunters reach out to me about making those, so hopefully I'll get those designed here soon and then we'll get them cut out of metal. On all my previous builds, I went ahead and used a DKD display, which is just like a mass-produced thing you can get overseas. It's your standard speedometer, but the problem with this is I don't have a specific voltage number on here, and I hate that for when I'm out riding. So on the next build, what I'm going to do is we are going to use this awesome display. It's made by Chowji, I think is how you say that, CHAOJI or something like that. And this has CarPlay, which is really cool. And so like you can go to your Spotify, you can go to phone calls, whatever, and then you just cycle back, and then that gives you your display. And then you also have your voltage in the lower right there. And you can even pull up maps. So again, with CarPlay, you can do, if I want to go to a gas station, you know, find all the things. It makes it really awesome. So I'm super excited about having this on the new build. I think it adds a whole nother layer to it. And we could even hook up speakers to this if we wanted to. So just something cool and over the top that I think will be really useful and just overall nice. One of the major roadblocks in this build is designing a front wheel that would match this rear hub, just because it is such an interesting design. So I went ahead and started to engrave something roughly on a piece of acrylic. You can see on the left side here, I went ahead and did a diagram and a rough drawing of how it should look and simplified it so that then I would engrave it such to match the rear wheel. And this is the first iteration. Honestly, really shocked at how well it matches. It is obviously a little bit smaller, but that's mainly because the outside, it's going to be a 3-piece wheel, so there's room for the lips there. So you just have to shrink it in a little bit. And then held up to the front, you can see you're not going to notice that it's really shrunk differently. I mean, obviously I would, but it's such a minimal, I think it's like an inch. It's not really going to matter once it's actually on the wheel. Fast forward a few weeks, and we finally have the billet aluminum extension blocks made up. Kevin over at Steady Garage helped us with these, and they came out awesome. So right now I'm in the process of just seeing if we can get these anodized to fit into our factory swing arm. God, these are so beautiful, but we're going to try to make them black because obviously to match the rest of the build. It's going to be great. So overall, we're in a really good spot with this update. We have the suspension on, the controllers on. I still got to finish a couple things on the wiring, but overall, we're starting to see the bike actually take form. I am waiting on the extension blocks to come back from anodizing, and then I can prop this side up with the wheel and everything. Then it starts to get really fun because you put your suspension on, kind of load it, and that's when you can start to build out this area because you need to check for ground clearance and all that. So until we get those back from anodizing, we're gonna upload some other projects we've been doing. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Drop a comment if you need anything. If you want to talk it out, happy to help. Have a good day, guys. See ya.